Hi everybody. There's an upcoming conference to discuss if geoengineers are playing God with our weather. The question of whether geoengineers are playing God with the weather, many other questions, will be pondered during 3 days of discussion centered on science, action plans, and solutions at the Consciousness Beyond Chemtrails conference to be held from August the 17th to the 19th, 2012 at the historic 1250 plus seat Ebel Theater in Los Angeles. A suitably grand venue for the largest gathering against geoengineering and chemtrails in history. The conference will feature the premiere of Michael Murphy's new film, What in the World Are They Spraying? The CBC conference is also a fundraiser for Morgellons research, and this is a very, very, very important thing to be contributing to. If you have any money, you should be really seriously considering donating this to Morgellons research. All net proceeds will go to helping 2 leading groups acquire the equipment they need to further study this disease and not be dependent on outside lab testings. Why? Because the labs are part of the conspiracy to cover up the crime against humanity, which is Morgellons. The subject matter of this weekend-long event will focus on an issue that is increasingly becoming a concern to many citizens. It is called geoengineering and is associated with what is commonly referred to as chemtrails. As scientists try to deal with some of the most crucial environmental issues of our time, many are embracing the idea of controlling the weather, and some have even gone as far as to suggest that spraying heavy metals in the atmosphere may help to reduce global warming. This playing God scenario is also being pushed by corporations and governments, all supposedly for the betterment of mankind. In recent years, extremely elevated levels of aluminum, barium, and strontium and other metallic elements have been found in California, Oregon, Washington, Idaho, and other regions of the northwestern U.S. and also southwestern Canada. Could this be the result of such weather modification that is already taking place? And if so, why haven't the citizens in these areas been told of such activities? Is anyone concerned about the effects of these toxins on humans and animals, not to mention our food and water supplies? Examining the global implications of such weather modifications at the Consciousness Beyond Chemtrails Conference, or CBC. It will be a dynamic roster of speakers that include weather experts, scientists, whistleblowers, researchers, philosophers, filmmakers, and journalists. Special speakers include Loren Moret, Clifford Carnicom, Laura Eisenhower, the great-granddaughter of President Dwight D. Eisenhower. Now, apparently that president made a pact with the aliens, and apparently Laura Eisenhower, have some insight into the alien connection to all of what's going on. Somebody called Jeffrey M. Smith, Dane Wigington, Alfred Lambermont Weber, Dr. Dream Mark Peebler, Dr. Ilya Sandra Perlin Gairi, Dr. Will Spencer, William Thomas, Alan Buckman, Sophia Smallstone, Carrie Cassidy, Deborah Whitman, Scott Stevens, Francis Mangles, and filmmaker Michael Murphy, whose latest film, Why in the World Are They Spraying?, will make its world premiere at the conference. The MC for the 3-day event will be Carrie Harrison, host of The Harrison Show on Pacifica Radio's KPFK 90.7 FM. All of these speakers and more will be at the Consciousness Beyond Chemtrails conference to be held at Ebel Theater in Los Angeles on August 17th and 18th, 2012. Advance tickets are available online. All net proceeds from the conference will benefit Morgellons research. Morgellons is a multi-system, they're calling it a disease, and I don't know the definition of the word disease, but I'm not convinced that's the proper definition. Anyhow, it goes on to describe what the so-called symptoms of Morgellons are. And the first thing that comes to mind after reading this article is this: if anything, they should have a long-term sufferer of Morgellons, or more than one, to also speak at these types of events. And it doesn't actually sound like they have anybody actually speaking. And they shouldn't always have the same Morgellons people speaking, because they're not representative of the entire group. So it should be changed from time to time. The symptoms are not the same in everybody. And one thing that must be told whenever you're speaking about chemtrails is the terrible, terrible, terrible suffering and utter rejection of Morgellons patients, not only by the medical profession, who is responsible for doing harm and labeling these patients, but they're basically sent home to die. And many of them are denied disability insurance, and many of their families totally reject them. And so please, everybody, spread the word. And if you have money to donate, maybe this year, instead of donating your money to so-called cancer research, which we know just goes into a bottomless, empty pit, maybe donate your money this year to this cause, the cause of Morgellons, and where the money is not being manipulated by private laboratories and government-funded research centers that are promoted by the pharmaceutical drug cartel. And if you think that geoengineering isn't already happening, think again. There are websites of the companies that are doing this, promoting their services. So it is happening. And if you also think that they're doing this to control the weather, you're wrong about that too. Okay, because they're not controlling the weather in a good way. They're harming our environment, and they're claiming that it's people that are doing it. And all you have to do is look at the leaves on your trees and look around you. The lack of sun is harming everything on this planet, including human beings. So anyhow, I felt it necessary to promote this conference, and thank you very much for listening to this video. I'll post a link below. Marcia signing out. Thanks for watching.